Have you ever wondered what happens to your brain if you stop talking for 3 full days? It sounds simple, but this pause in your own voice can trigger neurological and emotional changes that almost no one expects. While silence is often seen as uncomfortable, neuroscience is starting to reveal that it can be a powerful tool or a dangerous trigger, depending on how and why you choose it. Today, we're going to explore what really happens to your brain when you go completely silent for 72 hours. We'll dive into neuroplasticity, focus, mental health, and even identity. Stick with me until the end, because the insights might completely change how you deal with noise and with yourself. If you enjoy content that challenges logic and sparks curiosity, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us keep bringing reflections that shake certainties. Let's begin. Not speaking for 3 days activates the prefrontal cortex and the hippocampus, areas tied to introspection, memory, and long-term planning. Studies published in Frontiers in Human Neuroscience show that short periods of silence boost activity in regions linked to creativity and decision-making. But that same activation can cause anxiety for people unaccustomed to silence. Without verbal distractions, the brain can become hyper-aware of negative thoughts, triggering the fear circuitry of the emotional brain. So, silence as expansion, or as an amplifier of inner noise? The next point might surprise you, especially if you're constantly surrounded by stimulation. Without the need to speak or engage in conversations, the brain saves energy and redirects focus inward. That can bring clarity, insights, and a sense of mental awakening. But here's the warning, that focus can turn into hyperfocus. Deeply introspective individuals often report feeling trapped inside their own heads, overwhelmed by thoughts, and emotionally foggy after long periods of absolute silence. Does the mind open up, or lock you in? It depends on how well you handle your own thoughts. And next, we'll touch on something even more personal, your identity. Language shapes identity. When you stop speaking, you hit pause on how you express yourself, and that can reveal deep internal patterns, hidden beliefs, and emotional blocks that usually go unnoticed in the noise of everyday life. But it can also be disorienting. Going completely silent for 72 hours may trigger a loss of social identity, especially in people who rely heavily on communication, leaders, teachers, influencers. Do you reveal yourself, or fade away? This is one of the most provocative questions of this experiment. And up next, a strange effect on your attention. Research shows silence enhances sustained attention and improves reaction time in cognitive tasks. Your brain adapts to fewer distractions and becomes more sensitive to detail. But here's the downside: too much silence can make your mind overly reactive to external sounds and minor stimuli, causing irritability, auditory hypersensitivity, and even difficulty reintegrating into the world's normal pace. Do you become more attentive, or more fragile to stimulation? In the next section, we'll explore why some cultures embrace silence while others run from it. Staying silent is like switching your brain off autopilot and placing it in a state of presence. Studies from the Journal of Mental Health Counseling show that this can ease symptoms of stress, anxiety, and even mild depression. But that detox can have side effects. For some, silence reactivates old traumas or feelings of abandonment, especially when it's not done with intention, emotional readiness, or proper support. Liberation, or trigger. Silence is a tool. And like any tool, it can build or destroy, depending on who's holding it. If done with awareness, intention, and preparation, going silent for 3 days can be transformative. Your brain rests, rewires, refocuses, and reconnects with forgotten parts of yourself. But if done impulsively or as a form of escape, it might bring more internal noise than peace. So here's the invitation: try silence even just for a few hours. Observe what happens. And then tell me, what did you discover when you stopped speaking? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Your story might help others hear silence with new ears.